means everything. By me growing up in Jackson, Louisiana, probably a population of about 2,500, 3,000 people, it's everybody's dream, every kid's dream in Louisiana to go play for those three letters and two colors. It means so much to me that my university and like it's a blessing that I've been able to represent those people, and you just feel it when you're there. It's unexplainable. I really can't tell you in words about how amazing that place is and how it just feels like home. Like from the time that I stepped on Victory Hill and I walked down the hill, it's just chills just going through my body. Just like I just want to. I just can't wait to bring just a winning environment back to that Baton Rouge.
And we say a happy good morning to you on a Wednesday, final Wednesday in the month of July, folks. July 29th, Buddy Songy in here with Tigers Roar. As always, Jonathan Poche, our producer and co-host across the board. Marty Campbell, as always, with all the camera work. Hope everybody doing well. As the dog days of summer are officially gone, we are getting ready to start. Saints just had their first full practice of the day. We'll give you updates on that. Of course, as always, we know that when you start talking about the Saints and Tigers, it is going to be here before you know it. LSU starts practice next Wednesday, August the 5th. They'll report next Tuesday, August the 4th. And as always, we're going to give you a little recap of SEC Media Days. You heard Trey'Dez Green. You'll hear from Whit Weeks. You'll hear from Lane Kiffin. And JP, interesting. I never thought we'd say it, but Lane Kiffin, we've been talking about maturation, not necessarily growing up, but just not being so silly on social media and Twitter. And lo and behold, great representation with the players and Lane Kiffin off of Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and social media. How long will that last? Nobody knows. But we've got an interesting show for you today and hope that you're getting excited as we feel like in this building at Pelican Sports TV that the Tigers and the Saints have potentially good years. JP, out of the gate, Lane Kiffin off of social media and Twitter. The challenge by his son, Knox Kiffin. He says, when you tell me I can't do something, I want to prove that I can. Your take on that, and great to see you on a Wednesday morning.
Oh, great to see you as well, Bud, man. I'm happy to be back on Tigers Roar, and certainly happy all of you are viewing out there. Of course, you can also catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. A great way to keep up with everything we do at the Pelican. And it is wrapping up talking season, Bud, man. SEC Media Days. I watched a bunch of it, mostly clips on social media, and truly they kept flooding my For You pages because every coach, every player almost was asked about Lane Kiffin and LSU. And you got to see opposing coaches' takes on it, guys he used to work with, guys that had taken new jobs. John Summerall had a nice piece about him, but I take Kirby Smart, what he said about Lane Kiffin away from the whole experience, Bud, man. Talking about the coaches exchange, they have a group message going, and just talking about, what Lane brings to the message with, quotes from his dad and stuff that he gets from Monty Kiffin. And I completely agree. There was a more mature Lane Kiffin that we saw at this media day for the SEC than we have in the past. Not only with the social media, and by the way, somebody has to show up at U-High and tell Knox that, dare his dad, bet his dad that he can't go undefeated the next 3 years. And let him pull that off in Baton Rouge, too, because he's dropped the alcohol. He's dropped the social media. I mean, these are like, major things, major problems that people struggle with, every day. Outside of being in a celebrity status where everything you say will be scrutinized. But I thought he did a great job of representing not only the institution, but the state of Louisiana, talking about how great it's been, how welcoming all the families and fans in the state have been to him and his family. I was really surprised. I mean, I thought he was a very mature, well-articulated speaker. And Trey'Dez Green, Whit Weeks, and TJ Jottery. I mean, a guy that's been there a couple times. This is the second time going to the media days. Last year was with Ole Miss, and he started his career at Clemson. They asked him about that, how crazy it's going to be for LSU, your first game at Tiger Stadium, to be against your first team in college. There's no shortage of storylines, but man, of course there was acts about Sam Levitt and why he wasn't at SEC Media Days, and Lane Kiffin just said, though, he's leading the player-led practices back in Baton Rouge. So, full tilt. Football is just around the corner. The Saints will have their first padded practice on August 3rd. We will hear from Kellen Moore, the second-year head coach, a little bit later on in this show. Lots of expectations for the Saints in the NFC South, mainly because the division is so poor. But they get the starting quarterback leading into training camp. They know who it's going to be in Tyler Shuck, year 2. They re-bolstered that offensive line. They get some talent around them. They bring in a good running back. They re-sign Cam Jordan. They re-sign Alvin Kamara. A lot of good storylines, a lot of positive momentum head into training camp for the Saints. So a lot to talk about. It is hot out there, Bubba. I know you cut some grass. You're looking a little skinny out there on camera, but keep up the good work, and I can't wait to get into football season.
Well, I don't know if skinny is ever going to be a word that anybody will talk to me. I'd rather be heavy and healthy than skinny and sick, but it is time to get ready for football practice. By the way, Coach Kiffin, right out of the gate, a little bit of a filibuster as Greg Songy introduced him. Now, this is interesting. BK always wanted to go first out of the gate on Monday. Lane Kiffin went out of the gate first on Thursday, the final day. And LSU, in case you missed it, Georgia predicted 1, Texas 2, Ole Miss 3, A&M 4, LSU 5, Alabama 6, Oklahoma 7. And then, of course, as we know, JP, none of these predictions mean anything, but I did see it, and Lane Kiffin and LSU have been talking about that ever since he's been here, and that is it's just different. And so right out of the gate, you're a guy that's younger than me, you deal with social media, you watch it and look at it every day. Does he stick with this? And even more importantly, JP, if he does it change his way of coaching? Kiffin's one of those guys where he would always troll you. And there were some instances, obviously, a couple of years ago when Ole Miss was playing Bama in a big game. He said, get your popcorn ready, and they got clobbered.
Yep.
Last year, he said, Kirby looks like he hadn't missed any meals. And, of course, lo and behold, they blew a fourth-quarter lead and lost to Kirby last year in regular season. Pete Golden did get them in the playoffs, and so a lot of conjecture, a lot of talk. Next time we are here, we will definitely get into personnel. I'll just give you a quick overview, JP, or 5 or 6 things that we're going to be looking for. And the first thing, obviously, is the health of Sam Levitt. JP, got to ask you right out of the gate. I'll let you answer on Kiffin with the Twitter question, but do you think they minimize Sam Levitt's runs in the first couple games before the Ole Miss game?
Well, I think there'll be less called runs. There'll certainly be an acclimation period to get your body into football shape. And when things break down, that's what Sam Levitt does really special. He uses his legs, get outside the pocket. He's got all the moves of running back, but he can also, get that ball out and launch it to the sideline deep down the field. So to answer your question about Lane Kiffin, we kind of talked about it on this show before of when he was going to come back. He took this little hiatus, but it wasn't an official hiatus. We just knew he was being quiet on social media. It will absolutely, I think, have to change the way he coaches and recruits and sends messages to the team. Like in the summer workouts or in spring football, they were having messages that he was posting just to motivate guys. So there will be an adjustment period. He's going to have to evolve the way he approaches his daily work. And when football season starts, the trash talk goes back and forth. I'm sure he's done a really good job of not seeing any of it so far, but we'll see if that does change as the season goes on. Obviously, if you're able to just block out all the noise, coaches always talk about that. You don't want to hear about people talking good about you. You don't want to hear about people talking bad about you. Just focus on the moment and how you can get better each day. And truly, I think if he's able to do that, we're going to get a better version of Lane Kiffin down in Baton Rouge than we've seen previously in his different stops. And I think LSU fans have to be encouraged about that.
There has been a lot of conjecture, both nationally and locally, that about Sam Levitt. I'm going to give you some tidbits that I think you need to know before the start of the season. First of all, he will wear number 10. Obviously, this is a junior year for him. He does have one more year. Most people think he'll play and hopefully be a first-round pick. JP's a lot faster running than people give him credit. Whether it's 20 or 20 and a half or 21 miles an hour. I hate that we're going into that transition. I like the 4.4 time and the 40 better. We can all relate to that. But I think the key with Sam Levitt is, can he make the big throws under duress at the right time? Wide receivers for days. I'm telling you, folks, that go through these wide receivers, but they have a bunch of them that will get opportunities. Winnie Watkins, number 6. Jackson Harris, number 4. Trey Wilson from Florida, number 3. And on and on and on. You got a lot of guys that can catch the football. Tight end, Trey Green, and JP, I came up with this little trio of number 11s. Are you ready to hear from the Bud Man? My first left field buddy prediction for LSU. Trey Green, folks, is going to be a star. Preseason All-SEC first team doesn't mean anything. But I've got him having 11 touchdowns for the year. Last year, he had 7. But only had about 433 yards. I've got him having 700-plus yards and 11 touchdowns. Princewell Umamelan, the outside rush edge man, number 1, I've got him. He had 9 sacks last year with 11 sacks, including the first one of the season. And, JP, we connect the last dot with number 11. It could be 9, could be 10, but I've got LSU coming in at preseason AP at number 11. So,
there you go.
If I was playing cards and I had 3 11s in my hand, I'd be happy, 3 of a kind. But lo and behold, Trey Green's going to be hell. You're going to see him utilized much more productively. They'll have him in space. They'll have him in formations. They'll zig him one way and back the other way. He is a matchup problem from hell for anybody. Princewell Umamelan is going to be held. He's going to be doubled. They'll probably move him around because he's great from the edge. And then, of course, as we know, Sam Levitt, if LSU wants to make the playoffs, then he's got to stay healthy. I'm excited. I'm all in at Sam Levitt. I don't have a comparison that people can relate to, but I'll just tell you this. He is going to give you similar vibes of Joe Burrow. Very fiery, very tough, very confident. You're going to hear him tape. We've not interviewed him yet with the local media, but this is a guy. And, JP, you kind of want your quarterback to be confident and cocky because they've got to believe in themselves. And I think it's going to be a great opening night with a packed crowd and a tough ticket as LSU hosts Clemson on September 5th. It's going to be here before you know it. 40-something days away, folks.
Yeah, Bud, man, I like the 11 touchdowns from Trey Green. I'm right on board with you. I don't see a defense in America stopping him for a complete game. You can try to double team him all you want. He is a matchup nightmare. Not only is he 6'7", but he can jump out the gym. He can get every 50-50 ball. Put on some more muscle, more maturity, more game experience. He is going to be a problem for the whole league. Princewell, looking forward to it. Jordan Ross on the other side should be a dynamic pass rush, including some pressure up the middle by some young guys, Bud, man. Excited about the D tackle spot for the young guys LSU has coming with them. And I agree. It all starts and ends with Sam Levitt. Got to stay healthy. LSU took a risk on him. Knew the situation with the injuries coming up from Arizona State, but when this guy's healthy, he's just so dynamic with his legs and with his arm. Leave it to Charlie White, Lane Kiffin to scheme up something very dynamic for this young man. And looking forward to seeing week 1 against Clemson. And then, of course, everybody's geared up for that week 3 against Ole Miss, Bud, man. They couldn't stop asking questions about it. Of course, Lane Kiffin has answered, many times. They've had so much to do since he took the job 6 months ago, filling out the staff, attacking the portal, signing high school guys. There's no short of storylines for LSU football this year, including one that I don't even know if you saw it, Bud, man, but we'll get it out of the way early. LSU left tackle Jordan Seaton has gone viral on social media by doing a dance with his girlfriend with these designer bags that he spent anywhere between 35. I saw reports this has at least 6 bags, $50,000 in designer bags, and he's dancing. And look, I get it. These kids are 18, 19, 20. You're giving them millions of dollars to play football. These girls, they get what they want at all times, but, man, you know that. But should Lane Kiffin institute some type of, we're cutting out social media, follow my lead, and we'll see how far we can go. Because if this team can lock in, Bud, man, they have talent to be really special.
Yeah, and I think Jordan Seaton, once again, now look, the rumored number for Jordan Seaton is about a $4 million package to come play left tackle. He is 6'5", about 307, and will be the protector of the blind side of Sam Levitt. Wearing number 77, he's fired up, he's excited, and we counted the numbers, folks, with players, coaches, and analysts. There will be 80-something people out running underneath the tunnel and under the goalpost for the first time on the night of September 5th. So everybody talking and all that jibber-jabber about national championships and all that, let's take it one game at a time, 1 week at a time. Got to beat Clemson and Louisiana Tech, then you'll focus on Ole Miss. JP, best case scenario I see is 10-2, but worst case scenario I see is 9-3. I think they're going to be a 9 or 10-win team if they get the breaks, make their calls, and obviously stay healthy, specifically with those guys that you cannot afford to lose, including Sam Levitt. Quick time out. We come back on this Wednesday afternoon right here with Tigers Roar, Buddy Songy, Jonathan Poche. Hope you're doing well. Back after this on Pelican Sports TV.
Tough and rugged savings are heating up during the Honda Summer Event at Team Honda. Get 1.9% financing on a new versatile Honda Ridgeline and make no payments for 90 days. Save thousands right now at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
When I started this practice over 35 years ago, I had one goal: to treat every patient like family. And over the years, I've watched kids grow up in this office, come back as parents, and now I'm seeing their kids in the same chair. That kind of trust, it's not something we take for granted. This isn't just where we do dentistry. It's where we make people feel at home. Fruget Family Dentistry, where you treat it like family. Call or visit FrugetFamilyDentistry.com to schedule.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Very busy time of the year. Hope everybody doing well, and we're going to let you hear from Lane Kiffin. Of course, he did filibuster at the first get-together when Songy introduced him. He talked about 20 minutes and only took 5 questions. He did have more of a question and answer session with Nick Saban and the guys on the board. What did you think about Saban when he was, Kiffin, when he's talking about Saban? And you could tell, JP, Nick Saban's been telling Lane for a couple, maybe 3-4 years to get off social media and Twitter. And he came with the analogy about sometimes the old man tells you something and you don't realize it.
Right.
But interesting to see. Everybody I've talked to in the media thinks that he will come back. It's just a matter of when and how much. But anything you took from answers that he gave in Tampa?
I thought he did a really good job of just speaking up highly about his program instead of taking shots at other people. I did like the interchange between him and Nick Saban about how Miss Terry, first time they came back to Baton Rouge, she was spraying the holy water on the sidelines around Coach. I thought that was pretty funny. And it must have worked because they won that game. But I thought it was a more mature Lane Kiffin than I've ever seen before. Granted, didn't watch all the press conferences he was doing while he was at his previous stops, but seen enough. And I thought that this form of communication was different from him. I thought he was a more mature coach, father. You go through the gamut, a person, human being, very articulate, and just I thought he did a great job building up what he has built so far in Baton Rouge, as opposed to tearing down what he left at previous stops.
Yeah, and I got a guy in the media that might give him a little bit of some good luck, holy water for this season. Here we go, Lane Kiffin in Tampa talking with the media last week.
Yeah, Charlie has done a great job. We've been together at a number of different places now. He was introduced to me came on an interview at Alabama before, but we were interviewing him for a quality control job at Alabama. And, someone had told me about him. They said, this guy's like boy wonder, like social age, like Doogie Howser, like this just like way ahead of his time kind of nerd kid. And they're like, he's got a photographic memory. So of course, like there's no way. So we go to dinner, and then like I show him my like driver's license and credit card. And I'm like, here, I'm going to ask you about this tomorrow. And it takes some time for a photograph. They can't just go like take a picture. So he has to take like 3-5 minutes, like to put all the information front and back, credit card, driver's license. And I don't ask. He thinks I'm going to ask him. I don't ask him anything till the next day. He remembered everything. And so he's brilliant, and it's been an awesome experience to bring him to FAU. Actually, it's kind of intertwined there. We bring him to FAU initially, then he leaves like after a month or something because Sark hires him at the Falcons. I bring him back to FAU eventually as a coordinator. Then I go to Ole Miss. Doesn't come. He goes to South Florida, and I bring him later on, and the rest is where we are now. But it's been awesome to see someone develop as a coach's kid and see him go through his growth, and then they got 3 kids now, he and Jen, and just to be part of that family, it's been really neat. And he had a hard decision too, leave where he was at, and then he went back, even though he came with me. Then he went back, and then they tried to get him to stay again, and that wasn't easy for him because he was in the, we kind of call that utopia moment there of everything going great and winning, and then stuck with it and came back. So I'm just really proud of him for how far he's come, and he does our whole offense. I get all this credit and everything. I've said it before. I'm in there in the meetings. We bounce things off each other. I chime in on game days, but Charlie nowadays does the whole thing. And I, as crazy and as chaotic as that whole postseason was and going back and forth and stuff, I'm really happy how it happened that he got the credit, offensively when I wasn't there, for a couple games in the playoffs and how well they did on offense. That was awesome to see.
Right side on the third row.
Good morning, Coach. Abby Miller with Reflector from Mississippi State. You would think that Mississippi State would be low on your radar now that you're no longer at Ole Miss, but they're back on LSU's schedule for the first time since 2023. Are you still heading into that game with the same rival instincts that you would with the Egg Bowl?
Can't get away from Mississippi State. Didn't realize that stat. I've got great respect for Jeff Levy, and he's one of the best offensive minds I've ever been around, play callers, and does a great job. And had a really hard task. That roster was really down when he got there. They'd been struggling. And it's hard. This is a hard time to come in and rebuild a program that's been struggling like that for him in this era where the SEC has, really high salary caps of schools that, get to go get a lot of players and rebuild, where before sometimes programs were more like that because you'd have the big draft class you'd lose, and then it was going to be a year before you got back up because you lost all those guys. Well, now in the portal they just replace them. So to try to come from the bottom of Mississippi State and bring it up, that's really hard nowadays because of that system. And then you got a system too that you may have a good player you develop and you got to worry about him being taken. So I know the record probably isn't what Mississippi State people like, but I've seen tremendous improvement in that program, and Levy's going to continue on that route and do great things.
Left side front row, pass it to your left.
Hey, Coach. Julia Marino from LSU Tiger TV. How important was it for you to retain Blake Baker for this defense this season?
Yeah, I think Blake's done a great job. Covering LSU where the defense was a couple years ago, and continuing to improve it. And he does a great job with the players. They really respect him, play really hard for him, and I'm excited. I'm excited of combining this. I think when defenses have played really well and done really well as a defensive coordinator, when you bring this system in, I think they really enjoy it. They enjoy practicing against us, even though it's kind of a pain at the time practicing against our tempo, but it makes you better. And so I've enjoyed our interactions. I've enjoyed the competitiveness of Blake, and I think it's going to be a great combination.
Front row.
Hey, Coach. Jacques Doucet, WAFB in Baton Rouge. This morning you spoke to us about losing weight, giving up alcohol, those kind of things. How much of those things giving you clarity, maximize your days, and make you a better football coach?
Kind of everything. And when you continue to, like I talked about it there, when you continue to look at life differently, like I say, a lot of people as they get older, they add bad things or bad habits. As you get older and you continue to subtract and you continue to try to grow, it's been awesome. And you talk about clarity. When you remove things from your life that are clutter, you get clear and you see things differently. And it's been an awesome experience. What I love about my journey, especially as you allude to the alcohol part, how many people, whether it's coaches, other people, friends that I've known in different places, or maybe barely know, and they see it. They can see it on you, and they see the change, and especially coaches, and then they come in like, hey, tell me about this. Like, I love how they always start. They're like, well, I don't have a problem, but tell me how you stopped this. And so I'm not going to list them, but it really is amazing from coaches at Ole Miss, some that are still there, some that are with me now, how many actually stopped drinking and that change in them, because I believe they saw what it did for me. And that's the favorite part for me, besides how I feel and how it's made my daily and my relationships, to see other people go through that. And even in some cases to see people come in and say, help them through that transition and then see their marriages, flourish in it, has been really awesome for me.
Front row.
Mike Griffith from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Coach, you mentioned the Nike deal in there, LSU having 12 athletes. They didn't have that before you arrived. I'd suggest that your presence has something to do with that. How do you manage deal with knowing that you have that iconic stature where everything you say is going to be scrutinized? First half of the question. The second half of the question.
One question, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to ask about Jeremy.
Oh, that
Pruitt.
actually helps me. I'm not that smart.
I was going to ask about Jeremy Pruitt. That's the other one.
Basically, whichever one you ask second, I'll answer, and then I forget the first one. See, now I got the Jeremy Pruitt one, and then forgot the first one. Okay, Nike deal. And you say the combination. I believed in taking this, that all that was going to play into this, building this elite program. You have the branding of LSU, you have the history of LSU, you have the Tiger Stadium, most iconic place to play college football, the Cathedral. And then you put that with us, with our systems, and I don't like talking about myself, whatever you call the Lane Kiffin factor. And you bring that in, as you allude to, and you combine that. I think that all goes into that. Now you have 12 players with Nike NIL deals, the first offensive lineman ever. No other schools above 8. We didn't say like 12, 11. We didn't say just SEC schools. So it's a big reason why we're here. When I said that first press conference, it's just different. We're going to make this thing different than anywhere else to go when you combine LSU and us, and you're seeing it. You know, we just on stage had that question in the Vanity Fair and all that, whatever. And as I walked off, and you know, I didn't really want to say it, but you know, when you talk about the changes of places, somebody said it the other day. They said, like a month ago or whatever, they were like, well, he's been here 6 months and he's had more 5-star signees and commits than he did in the previous 6 years combined. You know, that's kind of proof to me of the decision and of the combination of the two, us and LSU.
A lot of topics there taken up by the coach, and talking about recruiting, talking about 12 with Nike. Nobody else had more than 8, and including Jordan Seaton, the aforementioned big left tackle, who's the only offensive line that's ever gotten a Nike NIL deal, and he's the only one in the country. All right, we're going to go quickly here. Now we're going to let you hear from number 14. Will he get number 7? Will Weeks get 18? Those decisions will be coming down the hatch here in weeks. Trey'Dez Green, one of my favorites, and I think you're going to love the way they utilize him. Trey'Dez Green meeting with the media. This is going to get you Tiger fans fired up on a Wednesday night.
There's a lot of great tight ends in this conference. Everybody have their own skill set and their own attributes to help their team win. The decision with me stopping to play basketball was just the toll that it really had on my body. And, like, I feel like I would be a unicorn in the league. It's a lot of 6'7" guys in the NBA or in college basketball. It's not that many in the NFL or college football. So it's just being real with myself and having the understanding and making a grown man decision.
Front row on the left, then pass it over.
Justin Boucher, NBC 33 in Baton Rouge. Trey'Dez with Will Wade now taking over. Did it make you kind of rethink things, especially he's kind of spicy too?
Nah, it don't make me rethink it at all. But I had a great relationship with Coach Will Wade. He was one of the first people to offer me a basketball scholarship to LSU. I'm looking forward to having a conversation with him. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, but I haven't decided. I haven't thought about playing basketball.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ in Baton Rouge. In the big room, you were talking about the one-on-ones, and that was really interesting to me. Yeah. Can you kind of retell that story, I guess, of how it gets you guys going in the morning and just the wide open nature of them?
Yeah, so the one-on-ones is not your typical one-on-ones. It's one-on-ones is from, like, the 5-yard line, but anybody could get called up. Staff, trainers, anybody could get called up. So you give the quarterback a route. For example, they called our athletic trainer up. He had ran the route. I don't know if he caught the ball or not. But it's just so fun that the energy that it brings to the start of practice just gets us going. It's so amazing what Coach Kiffin can do with the things that supposed to be hard and boring during practice. He just makes it fun.
On the aisle, then pass it forward 2 rows.
Hey, Travis Brown with KBTX. LSU got a pair, Texas A&M got a pair of LSU transfers in offensive lineman Tyree Adams and Cohen Eccles. What are they getting into, those 2 guys, and what was maybe your relationship like with them?
Yeah, they're my dogs, man. I miss them dearly. They're getting 2 wonderful players, 2 hardworking players. I'm pretty sure that they set their mark at Texas A&M. They're amazing people to be around. You know what you're going to get from those guys every day. They're going to come in and give you that 110% work.
Front row.
Jacques Doucet, WAFB in Baton Rouge. So you didn't play high school football till your junior year, right?
Actually, I started my sophomore year of high school. Yes.
And your first game, you caught 2 touchdowns and then got an offer the next day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, what have you learned about football from then till now, and what do you need to improve upon for the NFL?
I mean, it's a lot of stuff that I still need to learn about the game of football. I've grown in the aspect of just learning the game. Like I didn't even know how to get in the 3-point stance when I made it to LSU. It was my high school football career was just a bunch of me just lining up at the outside receiver and going to get the ball, running one route really, and that was just a go ball. But I've learned to grow this game. I've learned to grow and to learn this game, and I love it so much. Like the love that I have for this game and the way that this game could create so many relationships and outlets. It has opened so many doors up for me.
Second row and pass it to your right, please.
Trez, what can you tell us about this year's offensive line and just your confidence around them and with them in front of you guys?
The offensive line, they're my guys, man. They some hard workers. Like the offensive line is going to be exciting to see. Like everybody just wants it. They want it. Even like all of them. They just want it. Like we do indie. Like I do the tackle. They do the tackle and tight end combinations. They be teaching me little techniques that I can use in the run game. It's just I'm being a sponge and soaking up everything that I can learn from those guys.
On the end, then pass it behind you.
Leo Haggerty, Amped Up Sports Draft Nation here in Tampa. Obviously, at the top of your list are team goals. What individual goals do you want to aspire to this year to get those team goals?
I just want to be that guy that my teammates can count on. Just want to be that outlet for them, whether they're going through something or whether they need something, they need some energy or they need a boost or something. I could just be that person in their ear or just being that outlet for them. I just want to be looked at as a guy that just got stuff done in this offense.
Front row on the right.
Hey, Trez.
How you
Brogan
doing?
with Fox Carolina. You guys have a pretty cool season opener. I mean, you got College Game Day there. It's Kiffin's first game. A lot of hype around that game. How are you managing that moment, but also embracing that this is pretty awesome for a first game of the season?
Try not to get my head wrapped around it so much. Just try to get better, 1% better each day. As we all know, Clemson is a great team, a wonderful program. And it's going to be a great, wonderful, and magnificent game, especially in Death Valley with those wonderful fans out there.
Third row, and then pass it to your left.
Noah Tingle, Tingle & Co., Baton Rouge. Lane Kiffin referred to the offense as an expansion team with all the new guys, new faces. How have you seen that group really mesh and come together through spring and through the summer?
I mean, it's been great. Offense guys just don't hang out with the offensive guys. Defensive guys just doesn't hang out with the defensive guys. We hang out together. I stay in the neighborhood with a ton of the defensive guys, and we just come over. We always play the game and stuff. So it's about just getting everybody adapted to that Louisiana tradition, and I feel like we've done that. We've done that great, and it's going to be exciting to watch us this year.
On the aisle, then pass it forward.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX and Bryan College Station. Trez, what do you remember about last year's game hosting Texas A&M, and then how much are you looking forward to being able to host them a second year in a row?
I think Texas A&M is a great team, a wonderful program. It was so awesome hosting them, especially in Death Valley, man. You know, that game is always anticipated. It's like always like it's a rivalry game in Texas A&M. So the stadium was packed. I never miss up the opportunity to see all those fans in Death Valley.
On the right, third row.
Being from Louisiana, what does it mean that you get to call Death Valley home?
It means everything. By me growing up in Jackson, Louisiana, probably a population of about 2,500, 3,000 people, it's everybody's dream, every kid's dream in Louisiana to go play for those three letters and two colors. It means so much to me that my university, and like it's a blessing that I've been able to represent those people, and you just feel it when you're there. It's unexplainable. I really can't tell you in words about how amazing that place is and how it just feels like home. Like from the time that I stepped on Victory Hill and I walked down the hill, it's just chills just going through my body. Just like I just want to. I just can't wait to bring just a winning environment back to that Baton Rouge.
Chills going through his body, and I got to tell you, chills are going to go through your body the night of September 5th. LSU hosting game day in the morning And then one of the marquee games that first weekend, September 5th, Clemson comes to LSU on ABC with Fowler, Herbstreit, and the gang. Should be a great opening game. Quick timeout, make up a break, and we come back with more, including some Saints talk right here on a Wednesday morning edition of Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
We're redefining affordable luxury during the More to Move You sales event at Team Mazda. Right now, get 0% financing on a new Mazda CX-90. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. These savings plus so much more are waiting for you at Team Mazda on Airline.
Having fun during the breaks. Hope you're going to have fun this football season, folks. By the way, 8.5 is the over and under for LSU in Vegas. And, of course, the Saints. JP, we'll get into a little bit of Saints talk. We wrap up our final LSU talk. And lo and behold, JP, I'll give you 3 or 4 things that we're all looking for. First of all, line of scrimmage. LSU's got to be bigger, stronger, faster, and deeper on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Can you get pressure on the quarterback with your front 4? Are you going to play great football when you get inside the red zone? Don't forget, Lane Kiffin averages each year for the last 3 years about 32 times a year to go for it on 4th down. LSU last year was something like 8 for 14 on 4th down. So you're going to have a different offense, unpredictable, going fast, and defense, JP. I think the big question, can Chris Kiffin, Blake Baker, get those guys together where they do a good job of stopping that run-pass option on the edge? Having better defensive ends and edge rushers should help the problem, but a lot of option quarterbacks that Blake Baker and his defense will have to tackle, including one that's as good as anybody, Trinidad Chambliss, in Week 3 at Ole Miss.
Yeah, Bud, man, you said it. Blake Baker, they were excited to get him back in the LSU building. He's got a lot to work with, brought in a lot of talent from the transfer portal. Ty Benefield, he's going to work most of the checks from that safety spot. Very smart, very athletic. Whitweek says he predicts he's going to be a first-round pick. I think he's going in the top 15, Bud, man. I haven't seen him play it down for LSU yet. Just the tape from Boise State absolutely translates to the SEC. I'm certainly looking forward to that pass rush. The young guys in the middle of that defensive line, a lot of storylines, including TJ Daugherty and Whit Weeks playing side by side. The progression of Zach Weeks, what are we going to see from him? And the secondary. Can those corners stay healthy? DJ Pickett and PJ Woodland, they will have their work cut out for them. They're going to be on islands some of the time with those exotic blitzes for Coach Blake Baker. So looking forward to it, Bud, man. And I think this offense is certainly going to help the defense, not only with scoring points, but in practice. It's going to be one of the faster offenses in the NCAA. And seeing that day in and day out, getting those checks in, getting those calls in, the communication is going to be heightened at practice. It's going to translate well to the games.
All right, ladies, when you're in the stadium with your husband, your better half, or whoever, make sure to be quiet because this is going to be a lot of fun. You're not going to be able to predict the play call. They snap it every 22 to 25 seconds. They run it about 75 plays a game. And JP, got to ask the coach at some point in the season, when you get down inside the red zone, inside the 10, inside the 5, what's your mindset? Are you looking at analytics or gut feeling on shunning a lot of field goal opportunities? Scott Starzik is the new place kicker. He was 14 of 18 with Arkansas, 2 for 3, 2 out of 3 from 50. I don't think we're going to see any 50-yard field goals attempted, but how cool is that going to be the night of September 5th when the stadium goes, he's going for it on 4th down, and they pick it up and score a touchdown. Exciting to know this offense is going to be unpredictable and incredibly fast. You hope that they're on all cylinders by week 3, JP.
Yeah, Bud, man. And, Charlie Weiss has had players in his systems before, but I don't think it's been anything like this. I mean, the plethora of wide receivers, running backs, the tight end room. Trey'Dez Green, the best tight end in the country. I mean, the toys he has to play with, I think he's excited about it. Lane Kiffin's pumped up. They're going to go fast. They're going to spread the ball out. But the engine that drives the car is going to be Sam Levitt. This kid's going to be special in purple and gold. Looking forward to it.
All right, let's segue over to the Saints. They had their first big practice of the day. And, JP, you and I are going to talk a little bit about it. We'll also let you hear from Kellen Moore. But some of the big questions that you have for the Saints this year, and it starts with getting guys that came back. Cam Jordan came back. Alvin Kamara came back, picked up Travis Etienne. Travis, of course, as we know, didn't sign with LSU, but he's still got a lot of gas left in the tank. What are the big questions for the Saints, and what are you excited about with Tyler Shuck and Kellen Moore being in year 2 with the Saints?
Well, we'll start with Tyler Shuck. This guy gets all of the reps now in training camp, the OTAs. He is the established number 1, not like last year when you had to work through Spencer Rattler, Jay Kaner, then whatever was left over, you got the Tyler Shuck. This is the guy. Took the offseason, went and worked out with Drew Brees, took his wide receivers. Lance Moore joined him. That's great bonding. That's great teamwork. That's great exercise building forward to the regular season. Kellen Moore, I can't say enough about the job he did last year with one of the worst rosters in the NFL. Really turned it around the second half, and it was the most exciting and talked about 5-win team in the league. Everyone is now high on the Saints going into this upcoming season, and it mostly has to do with Tyler Shuck. The way he was able to maneuver the pocket and keep his eyes downfield, did not play like a rookie, but man, obviously 7 years of college ball. He's a more mature kid, but really the way he endured himself to the city of New Orleans, he's really pressed all the right keys. He's toiled the right twine, and working out with Drew Brees in the offseason really just, all the Saints fans are ready for him to explode now. You bring in Jordan Tyson with the first round pick, number 9 overall. You solidify your offensive line. Now the only really question mark is Cesar Ruiz. Is Cesar Ruiz going to be your right guard here moving towards the regular season, and will he stay there? Will nobody take his place? Because you have the 2 bookend tackles, but man, you bring in David Edwards, and you have Eric McCoy in the middle. When he's healthy, he's one of the best centers in the league, so they should have at least top 15 offensive line with all the investment they put into it. I really hope for Tyler Shuck's case it does work out that way. Biggest question mark for me is 2 spots, the cornerback position and the running back room. The running back room, very crowded. A lot of guys that had carries last season when some guys went down with injury. What's Kendre Miller going to look like in this training camp? They've been high on him for so long. Will he finally be the player they expect him to be and not be unavailable with injury? Now, that's going to be one area to look at. But on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of turnovers with the cornerbacks. Julian Blackman does come back on that 2-year deal. Didn't play a snap for the Saints last year, but they're high on him. Jonas Secker is going to play that star position this year. But the cornerbacks, Kool-Aid McKinstry, can he be your number 1? Can Quincy Riley move from the inside slot to that outside guy? That's going to be where I'm questioning the Saints' defense. I think they'll be able to get the quarterback with that pass rush. You bring Cam Jordan back. Don't know if he's going to get 10.5 sacks again. Probably not. Yeah. That hasn't been really his trajectory the last 6 or 7 years, but he's an experienced guy that brings a lot of leadership to the locker room. So, look, Kellen Moore did a great job last year, but, man, even when they were losing, all the guys were kind of jiving with him, gelling with him, and really they bought in. And with older guys leaving like Demario Davis, I'm excited to see young guys step up, try to fill that leadership role. But Tyler Shuck, this is your team, brother. You stepped into the role, flawlessly, and everybody in New Orleans is pulling for you.
All right, let's let you hear from Kellen Moore, second-year head coach. And by the way, if you're going to follow the Saints to Paris, you might try to bring a window unit, air conditioning. It has been incredibly hot. Hopefully it won't be when the Saints travel to Paris and play overseas. Here's Kellen Moore, second-year head coach for the New Orleans Saints.
All right, everyone good? Okay, excited to be back. Excited for this opportunity to kind of get training camp started here in Metairie. We got an awesome setup here, obviously, being able to stay in-house and the fields and the setup for the fans, and it's a really cool opportunity for us. We're excited to have the fans here again throughout this entire process. A couple roster moves. Again, I think Mickey already hit a lot of these. Pups Mason Tipton, Keyshawn Silvers, NFI's Xavier Harris, and Cody Hardy. And then we did make one other roster move later today with Mike Reed being signed a corner, and then Beanie Bishop being the move there. Everyone else is available and ready to go, and so ready to rock and roll. I'll open up for questions.
How much different, or based on everything in training camp last year, are you changing anything this year besides like the extra joint practices, or are you just kind of running everything kind of very similarly?
Acclimation period is very similar. I think it's important to acclimate these guys. It's a unique setting, the way training camp's structured. You go from an extended break right into football activity, and so we all have to be really smart with how we progress these guys, and it's a team level and an individual level. And so once we get through that, then we get into the meat of training camp, the padded practices and all that, and we got to push ourselves in that phase. And so there'll be a lot of points of emphasis in there as far as the situational football and the themes that we're looking at. And then from that standpoint, once we kind of go through that phase, then we get into this awesome opportunity, which is essentially 3 joint practices and two preseason games within about a 10-day window there. So that'll be a great evaluation opportunity for us. And then the back end, we finish it off and get our eyes towards the regular season.
The team got the restructured deal with Kamara done. How important was that, and how important will it be to this offense this year?
Fired up, excited. Alvin means a lot to our organization, this community, obviously. These things sometimes take a little bit of time just to kind of work through, and Alvin was great about the whole process. I think communication was really good for everyone, and the conversation we were able to have, certainly over the summer, I think was great, and I think we're in a good spot. I think this running back room has a ton of talent. It's a really talented group. I'm excited to let training camp take its course to define roles and opportunities, but it's going to be a great group for us.
How much of that Alvin Kamara decision-making process that went on this whole offseason was you guys evaluating whether there was a role for him on this team, or you always, like, while installing your playbook, had something envisioned?
Yeah, I think that's a fair observation. I think you're always looking for a role for guys, and I think sometimes getting a chance to evaluate where our roster's at and who we have on the roster and how this thing's developing allows us to take a little bit of time to do that the right way. And there's a little financial part, obviously, that the business side had to take care of. And so I thought it was a really good process. We didn't anticipate necessarily Alvin doing as much in OTAs. So that kind of gives us a little bit of time to see some of these other guys and see how this would fit in this equation. And so we all feel really good about it.
Do you make adjustments now, though, like knowing for sure that he's here? I mean, because he's such a unique type of player. Did you already have everything that was going to be installed, or are there now different packages?
I think that's an ongoing process. I think early in training camp is still installation, so to speak. You're kind of teaching systems, getting guys comfortable. I think where you get into the player specific opportunities come a little later in training camp, and I think that's where certainly we will be excited to have those exploration phases when you have the running back room that we have. And so I think we feel good about the roles and the opportunities that will be presented to these guys.
Get it done before camp, and I guess you can even throw Cam in there, getting it done in June. Like, knowing those issues, if you want to call them that, are resolved, what does that do for you as a coaching staff now and all that?
Anytime there's definition, allows us to build plans. It's the NFL. There's always a million moving pieces. That's just inevitable. These rosters are always moving, but Cam, Alvin, they're really talented players. They mean a lot to this organization. They mean a lot to this community. They do things the right way, and so we're excited to have both those guys.
With you guys being able to go out and get another running back, a couple tight ends, a few receivers, how much does the offense change? Does it expand, or is it kind of making it a all the same stuff, but you window dress it different? Like, what's the difference going forward?
I think there's more variables for us in a positive way. Certainly we've been able to feel that just being around OTAs and seeing the tight end room that we have, the running back room that we have. I think it's just going to be exciting to kind of build that as we go. Certainly there's things that we already feel comfortable, kind of diving into. There'll be things that I think that's the exciting part of training camp is you get to kind of evolve. OTAs is a awesome opportunity for us to get better as a football team and individuals, but it's not real football yet, and we're a little closer to real football, which is an exciting part, but that's where you kind of get to, get a better feel for it.
So going into camp, obviously knowing who the quarterback is going to be as opposed to last year, benefits that.
Yeah, I think just continuity. There's only so many reps. You just think about that. We got 10 installation practices, and then we're playing Jacksonville in a joint practice. There's only so many reps, and so anytime you can have more defined roles, it allows guys to work with the guys that you anticipate working, come September. And so I think that's a huge advantage.
To that point, Mickey just praised Tyler's initiative and race to be better. We talked about him and a lot of pass catchers going to the West Coast with Drew. What did you think about that? What was your appreciation with seeing that?
Yeah, I think it's just a awesome leadership example of what our football team looks like. Certainly, Tyler gets a lot of the lead on this thing, but for guys to want to go do things together, spend time together, do the extra work, that means a lot. It's the right kind of guys. It's a special group of guys. They know we did a lot of good work in OTAs, but to steal a few more days in the summer obviously is a huge benefit, and then we just got to keep it moving.
All right, we gave you a bunch of LSU talk, a bunch of Saints talk. Don't forget, we'll have a bunch of Southern talk coming up here with our football season. And we remind you, folks, couldn't do it without our great sponsors. We appreciate each and every one of you patronizing our great sponsors. And don't forget about our friends over at Goodwood Grill, corner of Terra Boulevard and Goodwood Boulevard. Good food, good friends, good times, unbelievable portions. We are now working 10:30 to 5:30 every Monday through Saturday, off on Sunday. And we always say it, always a thrill when you go to Goodwood Grill, 927-7550. Give them an order today. You will not be disappointed. JP, give us some final comments for you on a Wednesday morning.
Excited that talking season is over, Bud, man. Even though I like what we do here on this show, I am ready to get the season started. The Saints had their first padded practice August 3rd right there in Metairie, open to the fans someday. So if you're looking to go check out the Saints, look at their website, NewOrleansSaints.com. They'll post when they're going to have their open practice for the open audience, the viewing audience to go see right there in Metairie next to the Shrine on Airline. Bud, man, you gotta feeling sentimental today. I what can I say? Feeling sentimental. Lose one of the LSU Tigers at ESPN. Ryan Clark goes down. Him and Cam Newton get the boot. Are you upset about the firing of RC?
Well, look, I know that he is a polarizing figure for the LSU fan base, but when you sit there and you're a race baiter and you actually literally say on air for everybody to see that Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady are not generational quarterbacks, then I think you've got a clouded vision, JP.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bud, man. Take us out. 30 seconds, Bud.
All right, folks, as always, we will do more shows in football season. We won't know if it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday because the LSU football practice. They report on Tuesday. First practice is on Wednesday. And the next time we see you, we'll give you updates right here on Tigers Roar TV. Have a great night, everybody.